SpongeBob SquarePants has been teaching business lessons for over 20 years, and nobody talks about it. While everyone's focused on the Krabby Patties,
oh baby,
SpongeBob was dropping wealth-building knowledge that actual entrepreneurs would charge thousands for.
first I started over here, and then I went way over here.
And it all starts with chocolate bars.
Could we interest you in some chocolate?
Lesson 1. The Chocolate Sales Masterclass Nobody Recognized. SpongeBob's chocolate selling episode isn't just comedy. It's actually a brutal crash course in real sales psychology that startups pay consultants thousands of dollars to learn. And most people completely miss it because they're too busy laughing. Let me paint the picture for you. SpongeBob and Patrick decide they want to get rich quick, so they grab a briefcase full of chocolate bars and hit the streets. No training, no experience, no clue what they're doing. Sound familiar? That's literally every entrepreneur's first sales attempt.
We're selling chocolate bars. Would you like to buy one?
Their very first customer opens the door and screams, "Chocolate," like an absolute maniac.
Chocolate? Chocolate! Chocolate!
This woman is practically vibrating with excitement. She's throwing money at them before they even finish their pitch.
That sounds heavenly. I'll take one.
And what do our heroes do? They run away screaming because she seems too intense. This is pure gold, and here's why. That customer represents what every salesperson dreams of: a hot lead with high intent and emotional charge. She's already pre-qualified herself. She wants the product. She's ready to buy. She's practically begging them to take her money. But SpongeBob and Patrick flee because they don't recognize a perfect customer when they see one. This happens in real business all the time. Entrepreneurs get scared of customers who seem too eager or too excited. They think something must be wrong if someone wants to buy immediately. So they sabotage their own sales by overthinking and running from money. But it gets worse. Later in the episode, they meet this smooth-talking guy.
You guys want to be good salesmen, right?
Oh, most certainly, sir.
Well, no self-respecting candy bar salesman would be caught dead without one of these.
Who convinces them to buy fancy carrying bags for their chocolate. They spend their profit on these useless accessories that don't help them sell a single bar. Classic mistake, wasting money on appearances instead of focusing on what actually creates value. Every successful entrepreneur I know has a story just like this. They blew their first profits on fancy business cards, expensive office space, or some consultant who promised to optimize their brand. Meanwhile, their actual product sits there collecting dust because they're focused on everything except selling. The episode gets even better. SpongeBob and Patrick eventually figure out they need to adapt their approach.
Remember, Patrick, flatter the customer. Make him feel good.
They start exaggerating health benefits, learning which emotional triggers work on different customers, and testing different sales tactics. It's not ethical, but it's accurate. They're learning through trial and error, which is exactly how real sales skills develop. No business school teaches you this stuff. They give you theory and case studies, but they don't teach you how to handle rejection, how to read body language, or how to pivot when your pitch isn't working. SpongeBob learned more about sales psychology in 11 minutes than most people learn in years of formal education. But selling chocolate door to door is just the beginning. The real genius is in how Mr. Krabs built his empire, and most people never even notice the strategy he's using. Lesson 2. The One Product Domination Strategy. Mr. Krabs doesn't run a restaurant. He runs a Krabby Patty empire. And understanding this difference is what separates businesses that survive from businesses that dominate entire industries. Walk into any McDonald's and look at their menu. Sure, they sell chicken nuggets, salads, and breakfast items, but everyone knows they're the burger place. The Big Mac is their flagship. Everything else is just supporting cast. That's exactly what Mr. Krabs figured out decades before most entrepreneurs even understood this concept. The Krusty Krab menu has other items: kelp shake, barnacle rings, kelp salad, but the entire business model revolves around one perfect product. Every customer comes in asking for a Krabby Patty. Every marketing effort focuses on the Krabby Patty. Every operational decision is made to optimize Krabby Patty production and delivery. This is the Apple iPhone model. Apple makes computers, watches, and headphones, but the iPhone generates most of their revenue and defines their entire brand. It's the Chick-fil-A model. They could expand their menu, but they built their empire on perfecting chicken sandwiches. It's the In-N-Out model. Limited menu, unlimited focus. Most entrepreneurs get this backwards. They think more options equal more opportunities. So they launch with 47 different products, hoping something will stick. They spread themselves thin, do everything mediocre, and wonder why nothing takes off. focus beats variety every single time when you're building. You can't dominate multiple categories simultaneously when you're small. You need to pick one thing, make it incredible, and own that space completely before you even think about expanding. Mr. Krabs understands this instinctively. He's not trying to be the best seafood restaurant, the best fast food place, or the best family dining experience. He's trying to be the undisputed king of one specific product. And it works. Now look at his competition. Plankton tries gimmicks, schemes, and elaborate plots to steal customers. He launches new menu items, creates fancy robots, and constantly pivots his strategy. None of it works because he never created a product worth stealing in the first place. The Chum Bucket fails because Plankton skips the hard work of product development. He's so focused on beating Mr. Krabs that he forgets to create something people actually want. His food is terrible, his service is inconsistent, and his entire business model is built on spite rather than value. This happens constantly in real business. Competitors spend more time studying each other than studying their customers. They launch copycat products, undercut on price, and try to win through tactics rather than superior offerings. Meanwhile, the market leader just keeps perfecting their core product and watching competitors burn cash chasing trends. But having a great product means nothing if people don't believe it's special. That's where Mr. Krabs' marketing genius comes in. And this next strategy is being used by billion-dollar companies right now. Lesson 3. The secret formula, marketing through mystery. The Krabby Patty secret formula might be the smartest fictional marketing strategy ever created, and it's being used by billion-dollar companies right now to create artificial scarcity and drive insane demand. Think about this for a second. We've been watching Spongebob for over 20 years. We've seen hundreds of episodes. We know everything about these characters' lives, but we still don't know what's in the Krabby Patty formula. We never will, and somehow, that makes us want it more. That's not an accident. That's brilliant marketing psychology. Mr. Krabs could easily tell everyone the ingredients. He could put them on the menu, create transparency, and build trust through openness. But he does the opposite. He hides the formula in a safe, treats it like nuclear launch codes, and builds his entire brand around the mystery. The result? Every character in Bikini Bottom believes the Krabby Patty is special. Not because they've analyzed the ingredients, but because they've been told it's valuable. The scarcity creates the value. The mystery inflates the price, the secrecy drives demand. This is exactly what Coca-Cola has been doing for over 130 years. They claim their formula is locked in a vault in Atlanta, known only to a few select executives. Reality? Food scientists have reverse-engineered Coke thousands of times. The secret isn't protecting the recipe, it's protecting the mystique. KFC built their entire brand around 11 herbs and spices. McDonald's has their special sauce. In-N-Out has their animal-style secret menu. Apple has their product launches shrouded in secrecy until the big reveal. Tesla has Elon's mysterious tweets that move stock prices. They're all selling the same thing Mr. Krabs sells: mystery and belief. People don't buy ingredients, they buy stories. They don't buy features, they buy feelings. They don't buy products, they buy the experience of being part of something exclusive. The psychological principle is called information asymmetry. When you know something others don't, it feels valuable. When something is hidden, we assume it's worth hiding. When access is restricted, we want it more. Mr. Krabs weaponizes this principle better than most Fortune 500 companies. But here's the genius part. The formula probably isn't even that special. It's likely just standard burger ingredients with maybe one unique twist. The real magic isn't in the recipe, it's in the marketing. Mr. Krabs created a myth, and myths are more powerful than facts. This works because humans are pattern-seeking creatures. We love puzzles, secrets, and exclusive information. We'll pay more for something mysterious than something explained. We'll wait longer for something hidden than something obvious. We'll talk more about something secretive than something transparent. The Krabby Patty formula generates more word-of-mouth marketing than any advertising campaign could. Every customer becomes a detective, trying to figure out the secret. Every conversation becomes free promotion. Every mystery becomes a reason to come back. But here's where most people miss the real lesson. It's not just about the product. The secret formula strategy only works if you have the right people executing it. Lesson 4. Why Spongebob is worth more than your entire team. Spongebob represents the dream employee that every company claims they want, but most would never actually hire. And understanding why reveals everything wrong with modern hiring practices. Let me break down what makes Spongebob valuable. He's won Employee of the Month 26 consecutive times, not because Mr. Krabs plays favorites, but because he consistently outperforms everyone else. He shows up at 3 a.m. to count sesame seeds on burger buns. He cleans bathrooms like he's prepping for surgery. He flips patties like a Michelin-starred chef preparing his signature dish. And here's the kicker. He does all this for pennies. Mr. Krabs pays him practically nothing. No stock options, no fancy benefits, no corner office. So why does Spongebob work so hard? Because he actually loves the work. In a world full of Squidwards, clock watchers, complaint makers, bare minimum contributors, Spongebob treats every shift like it's the most important thing he'll ever do. He's not working for money, recognition, or career advancement. He's working because he finds genuine joy in doing excellent work. Now imagine trying to hire someone like Spongebob in real life. You post a job listing for a fry cook. Spongebob walks into your interview and says he's excited to flip burgers for the rest of his life. He talks about burger flipping like it's an art form. He mentions staying late to perfect his technique. He seems genuinely thrilled about the opportunity. What would most managers think? This guy is weird. He's too intense. Something's wrong with him. He won't fit the culture. He's probably lying about his enthusiasm. So they'd hire someone normal instead. Someone who gives standard interview answers, seems appropriately indifferent to the job, and won't make other employees look bad by comparison. This is insane. You're literally screening out your best potential employees because they care too much. The business world is full of companies complaining they can't find good people. Meanwhile, they're rejecting candidates who show genuine passion because passion makes them uncomfortable. They want engaged employees, but they hire disengaged ones because they're easier to manage. Spongebob would get filtered out by HR algorithms for being overqualified or too enthusiastic. He'd get rejected by managers who mistake passion for instability. He'd get ghosted by companies that prefer predictable mediocrity over exceptional performance. But in the cartoon world, he's the backbone of a million-dollar operation. The Krusty Krab's success isn't just about the secret formula or Mr. Krabs' business acumen. It's about having someone who treats every customer interaction like it matters. SpongeBob doesn't just make burgers. He creates experiences. He remembers customer preferences, takes pride in presentation, and treats every order like it's the most important thing he'll ever do. That level of care is impossible to fake and incredibly rare to find. Meanwhile, Squidward represents what most employees actually look like. He's competent enough to avoid getting fired, but he's checked out mentally. He does the bare minimum, watches the clock, and treats customers like interruptions. He's not terrible at his job, but he's not great either. Most companies are full of Squidwards because they're comfortable hiring Squidwards. They don't make waves, they don't challenge the status quo, and they don't make other employees feel inadequate. But they also don't drive growth, innovation, or exceptional customer experiences. The lesson? Your best employee might be the one who seems too passionate, too dedicated, or too excited about the work. Stop filtering out enthusiasm and start recognizing it as the competitive advantage it actually is. And speaking of competitive advantages, there's a dark side to Mr. Krabs' success that every entrepreneur needs to understand. Lesson 5. The budget obsession that builds and breaks empires. Mr. Krabs shows exactly when being cheap helps your business and when it destroys it. Understanding this balance is what separates successful entrepreneurs from those who optimize their way into bankruptcy. Let's start with what Mr. Krabs does right. He tracks every penny that comes in and goes out. He knows his profit per patty down to the decimal. He understands his cost structure better than most. He cuts unnecessary expenses like a Silicon Valley startup founder trying to extend runway. This obsessive cost control is how he stays cash flow positive without investor capital. He's not burning millions while building market share. He's not spending tomorrow's revenue on today's expenses. He's not leveraging himself into oblivion hoping for a miracle exit. In the early stages of any business, this approach is pure survival. Every dollar matters when you're bootstrapping. Every expense needs justification. Every purchase needs to generate more value than it costs. Mr. Krabs treats his business like his life depends on it because, financially, it does. But here's where most people miss the nuance. Mr. Krabs crosses the line from smart frugality into destructive cheapness. He underinvests in his team, paying SpongeBob and Squidward barely enough to survive. He skimps on equipment, using outdated fryers and broken cash registers. He cuts corners on basics like toilet paper, soap, and cleaning supplies. This isn't smart business. It's penny-wise, pound-foolish thinking that eventually backfires. When you underpay great employees, they eventually leave or stop caring. When you skimp on equipment, productivity suffers and customers notice. When you cut corners on basics, you create a poor experience that drives customers away. Mr. Krabs gets away with it because he has a monopoly. There's no competition in Bikini Bottom, so customers have no choice but to accept whatever experience he provides. But in competitive markets, this approach is suicide. The smartest entrepreneurs know when to be cheap and when to invest. They cut ruthlessly on things that don't matter. Fancy offices, expensive marketing campaigns, unnecessary perks, but they spend aggressively on things that do matter. Great people, quality products, customer experience. Amazon's Jeff Bezos was famous for using a door as a desk in the early days.
I've heard a lot about your desk. to door with 4x4s.
He flew coach, drove a Honda Accord, and worked out of a garage. But he invested heavily in fulfillment infrastructure, technology, and customer service. He knew the difference between important expenses and wasteful spending. Mr. Krabs represents the entrepreneur who can't make this distinction. He treats all expenses as equally bad, missing opportunities to invest in growth because he's too focused on preserving cash. The result? His business stays profitable but never reaches its potential. He has a successful local operation but never becomes a regional or national brand. He's rich but not wealthy, successful but not dominant. This happens constantly in real business. Entrepreneurs who bootstrap successfully often develop such strong cost-cutting habits that they can't shift into growth mode when the time comes. They're so afraid of spending money that they miss opportunities to make more money. The lesson isn't to spend recklessly or ignore unit economics. It's to understand that money is a tool, not a goal. Sometimes the best business decision is to spend more, not less. Sometimes investing in people, equipment, or experiences generates returns that dwarf the initial cost. But the biggest lesson most entrepreneurs miss isn't about money. It's about competition. And this one explains why most startups fail. Lesson 6. Why Plankton fails and most entrepreneurs do too. Plankton is smart, driven, and inventive, but he's a complete failure because he makes the same fatal mistake that kills 90% of startups. Understanding his failure might save your business. Let me paint the picture. Plankton has a computer wife who can solve any problem. He's got advanced technology, scientific knowledge, and unlimited creativity. He's willing to work 24/7, take enormous risks, and never give up. By every measure, he should be successful. But he's not. The chum bucket is always empty. His business barely survives. He's constantly stressed, perpetually broke, and universally ignored by customers. Why? Because he's not building for customers. He's building to beat Mr. Krabs. Every episode follows the same pattern. Plankton doesn't start by asking, "What do people in Bikini Bottom want?" He starts by asking, "How can I destroy the Krusty Krab?"
Bottom line, we invade the Krusty Krab so I can steal the secret formula. What do you think?
He doesn't research customer needs, pain points, or preferences. He studies his competition. His entire business strategy is built on spite, not service. He's not trying to create value. He's trying to steal it. He's not focused on making customers happy. He's focused on making Mr. Krabs miserable. This happens in real life constantly. Entrepreneurs who become obsessed with their competition. They study every move their rivals make. They try to copy successful features. They undercut on price. They spend more time thinking about their competitors than their customers. The result? They build products nobody wants, create services nobody needs, and launch businesses that exist only to spite someone else. They're playing a game nobody else is playing, fighting wars nobody else is fighting. Meanwhile, their competitors are focused on customers, growth, and value creation. They're building for the market, not against other businesses. They're creating solutions, not causing problems. Plankton's restaurant fails because his food is terrible. But he doesn't fix the food. He tries to steal better recipes. His service is awful, but he doesn't improve the experience. He tries to sabotage the competition. His location is inconvenient, but he doesn't move. He tries to destroy the convenient option. This is exactly what failing entrepreneurs do. Instead of making their product better, they complain about competitors' advantages. Instead of improving their service, they try to expose competitors' weaknesses. Instead of creating value, they try to destroy it. The irony is that Plankton's obsession with Mr. Krabs actually makes Mr. Krabs stronger. Every failed scheme proves the Krusty Krab's superiority. Every attack reinforces customers' loyalty. Every plan backfires and creates more positive attention for the competition. Successful entrepreneurs understand that competition is largely irrelevant. If you're building something people truly want, competitors become an afterthought. If you're solving real problems, rivalry becomes a distraction. If you're creating genuine value, everything else fades into background noise. The best businesses don't beat competitors. They make them irrelevant. They create new categories, redefine customer expectations, and build experiences so superior that comparisons become meaningless. Mr. Krabs doesn't spend time thinking about Plankton because he's too busy serving customers. He doesn't develop anti-Plankton strategies because he's focused on pro-customer experiences. He doesn't even consider Plankton a threat because he's building something actually valuable. That's the lesson most entrepreneurs miss. Your competition doesn't matter if you're building something that matters. Focus on your customers, not your competitors. Build for the market, not against other businesses. Create value, don't destroy it. The moment you start building to beat someone else, you've already lost. Because you're no longer building for the people who actually matter, the customers who will ultimately decide your success or failure. If this opened your eyes to business lessons hiding in unexpected places, you need to subscribe because I'm about to blow your mind with how The Simpsons predicted every major economic crisis of the last 30 years.